12 life hacks that can enable you to endure. These are 12 little known techniques that can enable you to endure in a crisis circumstance. The principal thing that rings a bell is the guidance of your companions or your family. In any case, here and there even the most notable and mainstream recommendations end up being incorrectly and hurtful. Did you know applying ice to a wound isn't the best thought? What's more, lifting up an oblivious individual may prompt extreme outcomes. Here are the most widely recognized legends about medical aid and what you ought to do in crisis circumstances. Here are 12 little known techniques that can enable you to endure. 1. Managing an unfamiliar article in the eye. First of all, if there's something in your eye like a bit of glass, don't do anything yourself. Have somebody drive you to the clinic. In the event that the item is only an eyelash, at that point remember to wash your hands before you do anything. Attempt to find the eyelash by glancing in a mirror. Squint to make your tears wash the eyelash out. When the article is toward the edge of your eye, take a wet bit of material and use it to eliminate the eyelash. 2. Applying balms to an injury. Balms contain undesirable dampness, which is an extraordinary situation for microbes to imitate all the more rapidly. The best thing you can do is perfect the injury in cool water with cleanser and put a dry wrap on it. You will see that the injury will recuperate all the more rapidly. 3. Scouring an individual with a fever with liquor or vinegar. Vinegar and liquor are retained into the blood. So it's sort of an approach to become inebriated or to make a wacky plate of mixed greens dressing. Truly. Liquor scouring may make inebriation while vinegar will essentially raise corrosiveness, which is particularly hazardous for kids. So don't accept these obsolete suggestions. Drink a great deal of water, tea and other non-alcoholic liquids. Cool the air in the space to a temperature of 61 to 64 degrees Fahrenheit or from 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. In these conditions, the patient will get over the fever without anyone else. In the event that they don't, they should see a specialist. 4. Lifting up an oblivious individual. On the off chance that somebody swoons, you need to lift them up and sprinkle some virus water on them, right? Notwithstanding, lifting a blacked out individual up will just bother the fit. What you ought to do is lift their advantages. Unfasten any close garments and don't let them stand up directly after they come around. Lifting up an oblivious individual. Lifting up an oblivious individual. After they recaptured cognizance, don't let them drink espresso or caffeinated drinks that numerous individuals love. Caffeine will just prompt parchedness. 5. Treating ignites with margarine or acrid cream. Numerous individuals accept that this technique is compelling simply because it calms torment. Yet, for what reason do spread and sharp cream cause you to feel better? The thing is, we keep them in the refrigerator so when we put them on a consume they're cold. The threat is, however, that spread and harsh cream dry your skin and disturb warm trade. This outcomes in heat having no place to go except for more profound into the skin, causing much more harm. What you ought to do is hold your hand in the cool water for 15 minutes. This will help with the agony. Do you realize why rankles show up on the consumed spot in our bodies? Everything occurs which is as it should be. Rankles shield the injury from contamination. Eliminating the defensive layer may prompt putrefy. 6. Setting a bone all alone. It is safe to say that you are an expert injury specialist? If not, you should never set a disjoined joint all alone. Regardless of how cool or ruthless that glances in the films. It might bring about extra wounds in the subsequent case. Setting a bone all alone. Setting a bone all alone. The best strategy is immobilize the harmed appendage and go to the medical clinic as quickly as time permits. Gauze the appendage in an agreeable situation, inactivating the spot of conceivable break, yet additionally the two nearest joints too. 7. Applying warmth to an injury. At the point when your muscles are hyperextended, a comfortable material won't help. Actually, warmth will reinforce the bloodstream, prompting a more extreme expanding in the principal days after the injury. Apply coal, it will reduce the aggravation and kill the agony. Attempt to utilize the injury appendage as meager as workable for at any rate the initial 48 hours. 8. Making yourself upchuck if there should be an occurrence of toxic substance. The standard suggestion for harming is to make yourself upchuck. It may sound sensible, however it's carefully denied. Above all else, the toxin can get into the lungs and harm them. The subsequent issue is that in the event that somebody was harmed with certain synthetic compounds, regurgitating duplicates the opportunity of consuming your throat. At last, it may be exceptionally hard to quit retching once it begins. Along these lines, this can prompt parchedness and considerably more serious results in this circumstance. The main shrewd thing you can do is call the rescue vehicle as quick as could reasonably be expected. 9. Saving a suffocating individual. There's just a single impediment on your approach to safeguard a suffocating individual: not having the option to swim. On the off chance that you are, however, nothing can prevent you from sparing such individuals reality. Make sure to move toward them from behind so they don't see you coming. Something else, the individual may block you or drag you down in their frenzy. After you've moved toward the individual, snatch them under the armpits or by the jaw and move to the shore, keeping their head at your paunch. 10. Pulling out articles from wounds. Presently you can pull a splinter from a finger or a little glass shard from your hand. Be that as it may, you should never attempt to pull out items from genuine injuries. Indeed, even specialists keep them set up until the patient is in medical procedure. Pulling out items from wounds. Pulling out items from wounds. The thing is, while the article is inside the injury, it doesn't allow the seeping to begin. So until you are under expert watch, don't do anything, not contact the item. The main thing you can do is put some liquor on the injury, however you should be prepared for the injury to hurt definitely. Indeed, that is a splinter. Regardless of how unnerving a blade in a leg looks like, don't attempt to be a legend and simply go to the emergency clinic. 11. Applying ice to a wound. There is nothing in reality amiss with treating a wound with ice, however a great many people treat it terribly. You shouldn't have any significant bearing ice straightforwardly to the skin. On the off chance that you would prefer not to get a virus consume. Rather, put a fabric between your skin and a pack of ice. Be that as it may, in any event, utilizing a material doesn't mean there is no danger of being singed. That is the reason you should put ice for a limit of 20 minutes one after another, and afterward enjoy an hour-and-a-half reprieve. In the event that for reasons unknown you don't have a material you can utilize, don't utilize ice by any means. Trust us. You'd want to have a wound instead of a virus consume. Something else you should know is that there is no reason for utilizing ice 48 hours after the injury. Furthermore, number 1, using fascines to close cuts. It's not off base to utilize fascines. As a rule, it's the best way to close an injury, however putting joint is a long and agonizing method which requires eliminating the fascines after the injury mends. So now and again a less severe thing may work. Skin stick. Skin stick is snappy and for all intents and purposes effortless. Wash the injury with cold water before utilizing paste. At that point stop the seeping by squeezing the injury. Close the edges of the injury and put skin stick along it. In any case, on the off chance that you see that the injury is too enormous, don't face the challenge and go to the emergency clinic for proficient assistance. It would be ideal if you rate this tips, 12 life hacks that can enable you to endure. By bright side, in the event that you thought that it was helpful, and reveal to us your emergency treatment stories in the remarks segment beneath. Offer with your companions so they won't feel confounded about what to do when someone needs assistance.